This was no longer just a thought. It was a bet. I ignored them for years. I just knew it would be too hard, but friends kept on asking me, have you tried Jet yet? She is so good. What about Phoenix? He has the best flash in the game. No, I don't play duelist agents in Valorant. Being the first one to push into an area is the hardest job there is, I would tell them. But then a friend said something that stuck with me. I couldn't get it out of my head. You should really try duelist, he said, because it will teach you game mechanics and how to get better fast by having to push into areas and bomb sites. I had to know if he was right. I really did want to get better at Valorant. I was excited by the idea, and before I could even think about it properly, I said the dumbest thing I could have at that very moment. Okay, sure then. I'll stream for a full week of only duelist to show you they are too hard. What have I just done? Why did I just say that out loud? I had just locked myself into a challenge, and now it was too late. Did I just give myself a week's worth of torture? 7 days of Valorant was now set. The start date was chosen, the final cut-off time locked in, and all gameplay sessions would be live streamed. It was going to be on view for the world to see. This may just be the most terrible idea ever, because all of my hopeless mistakes will be shown to everyone by live stream. And if I totally bomb out on this goal, well, my failure will be forever painted on the wall. But there was no way out of this challenge now. It had already begun. Our story, no matter how it would go, was about to be written. I just didn't know how much of a challenge this would turn out to be. Day 1. Flashes, line of sight blocking abilities, and fast movement that lets you dash around all over the place were things that these new duelist agents seem to have. And some can even zoom around the map at incredible speed. They seemed really cool, but also tough. The more I started testing the abilities and trying them all out, the more I understood the idea of how they each work and how awesome the duelist agents could be. I could see how powerful they could be and how this could really be the key to me getting good at Valorant fast. This might be the way I finally can make it into the gold rank. I was feeling hyped up enough to hit join game for the first time.
Match found.
All right, fracture, bro. And we're going duelist only. Oh, this is a terrible idea. Our first competitive queue popped and we locked in Phoenix. First game in, new agent picked and ready to do my best. Oh, we got a dodger already.
Match found.
Fast forward into the game and we were losing 0 to 10. Oh my God, this is crazy.
Reloading. It's you.
So was that aim? What's going on here?
Come on, let's go.
I got 2 kills in the 11th round, which helped us to finally win our first round for the game. Finally. But this was one of the roughest starts I could have ever had. I was brand new to this agent, but it wasn't an excuse. I wasn't getting enough kills, which is the main job of a duelist, and I felt like I had let my team down. We got annihilated by an operator sniper rifle in the next round, which is exactly how the whole game felt really. Completely ruined in nearly every fight. We ended up losing 4 rounds to 13. To be honest with you guys, I'd never even tried duelist agents out before. I was too scared to. Up until this point, the only agents in Valorant that I had unlocked were the basic free ones, being Phoenix, Sage, Jet and Brimstone. And while playing up until now, I'd also spent points that I'd saved up on unlocking Sky, Omen and Fade. These characters, the ones I normally played, just help the team in different ways. People in Valorant are so good, and it feels so much less stressful to let someone else go around the corner first. So that's just what I normally did. I just didn't really want to ever say it out loud. And this was exactly what I had hoped would not happen if I ever did try out Duelist. I haven't been playing that long, and there are so many parts of the game that just take a long time to learn. Aiming good is so crucial. Having an idea of where the enemy players will be hiding is also super important. Knowing what all the agents' abilities do as well. Heaps of things to understand and be good at, and even more so when you're the first one to run in. It's almost like a 1v2 or a 1v3 or a 1v5 if every enemy decided to be on the point you're trying to push into. And I was always just too stressed thinking about it to try and do that. So I always let someone else do it. I was starting to think that I should have just left it that way. I took a deep breath. It was actually so silly to think about. First game into this challenge that was meant to go for a week, and I already felt so defeated. What was I going to tell my friend when he asked about how the duelist agents have been going? I would have nothing to tell him. And I couldn't lie about it. That's just not me. I'd locked myself into a challenge. Then it clicked. A spark of hope had relit. I'd locked myself into a challenge, yes. I was worried about being embarrassed and what others would think, but if I stopped now, it would just be even worse, wouldn't it? I'd made a bet, and now I had to face the consequences. There was no turning back. So after worrying about what I'd got myself into for a moment, I took in another deep breath and started from scratch. Into the training room we go to learn about duelist agents from the ground up. I really did want to get better at Valorant, and inside a part of me wondered, maybe, just maybe, I really can do this. I still thought Jet especially was going to be way too hard for me. Pre-activating a move before hitting it to go in any direction I was holding just felt awkward and not smooth to me at the moment. But as for the others, I felt a little bit more comfortable with the ability kits, and I was ready to try again. And then, it's like the stars aligned. It was like a whole different person was playing. Me on Phoenix.
One team A. One enemy.
Let's go. Holy, who gave me an op? Here we go.
Down B. One enemy
Here
remaining.
we go. One might be flanking, I'm a bit concerned. Here we go! Wait, I reckon the skins give you better accuracy.
Remaining. Spike down mid.
That is what we need. Yes. My first win in the bag and a personal score of 23 kills and 6 deaths. Insane. It turns out Phoenix really just might have the best flash in the game. Day 2. All night I thought about how it felt like I had cheats on. The very next day I jumped straight into comp games again, and I was feeling so good about how I played yesterday that you wouldn't even believe it. I still don't even know why I did it really, but I was feeling so confident that I hit lock in on Jet. The agent Jet, the one that I always said was too hard to play. Well, this is how it went. This could be the worst idea I've ever had. It probably will be. Let's go. Are we pulling the sniper out? We going for clips? We're going for clips. We're going for clips. Let's go. All right, watch his headshot. New scope.
Got him.
Perfect.
Oh, now they surrendered.
Defenders win.
GG's, guys.
We made them surrender. I could nearly even say I made them surrender. That's crazy. What's happening to me, man? On Jet and the MVP player. The next game I was also absolutely destroying too. Like I said, it's like I had cheats on. It was so insane. It was an absolute walk in the park, and I just could not be stopped. Then, I can't even believe what happened. I was getting called out for smurfing. Dude, I want 6 kills. I'm getting asked if I'm a smurf. What? Me. I tried to tell them like, yo, I really have never even played Duelist, and this is my only account, I'm level 26.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
They didn't
One
believe me.
enemy remaining.
Right as we're about to get the easiest win I've ever had, the game stops.
I hate to say it, but
Probably best to play as
All
a
right,
team.
3,600 points.
So, what's the plan?
What can we run?
Right here.
Like a stinger? Oh, I was so confused. It wasn't like the last game when it comes up with a surrender. It was different. It was weirder.
Spike down A.
Something was wrong and I knew it, but I just couldn't work out exactly what it was. A stinger? Oh. What? Who? Cheater detected. Game cancelled. All my momentum came to a crashing halt. I was nervous. I was randomly going off since last night, and I even joked about it to myself that it almost felt like I had cheats on. Not because I was an insane player, but just that I was on such a roll of wins and was really happy with how I was performing. It was a huge switch up. But like, it's not me, right? In my mind, I wondered if I'd tripped the system, if I'd set a sensor off or something. It sounded bizarre, but it did look like I went from a bad player to a good one. Fast. But I would never cheat in the game. I despise it. I can't work out why people need help to play video games anyway. How could it even be fun? But someone made this game end. And it would have been the win that pushed me into the first rank of silver. I'd never seen this before in a video game ever. But I still had access to Q and everything, just like nothing at all had happened. Like it never happened. Someone in that game had a program helping them, but we were destroying the scoreboard on our side, and the other team was going horribly. So whoever it was just the strangest thing, because my guess is it would have to be someone on my side. But they weren't even doing that good. Not as good as I'd been going on Jet anyway. The agent that I always said would be too hard to play. I couldn't help but be annoyed with the idea that I should be silver right now, and it was taken away from me. The dream of hitting gold this week was starting to fade. Day 3. My whole world crash landed around me. Our important win from yesterday was stolen from us. And it didn't stop there. We lost many games we should have won. I had one final trick up my sleeve. My Valorant account was now above level 25, and even though my game hours were not that high, every now and then I noticed what style of gameplay seems to work best for me. It seemed to be rotating fast or ambushing other players when they tried to run over to another point. It was time to try my final hope. It was time to lean into the idea of moving around the map quickly. I had the points ready, so I unlocked Neon. Ready? Ah, get slammed, boy! Insta-lock, the agent that can zoom around the map at incredible speed. I wanted to be able to play this agent well, and deep down I knew that I could, and that Neon is the perfect agent for me because the abilities sound like they suit me well. I put my head down and was ready to queue again and again until we pushed into silver and headed for that gold dream that we had set since the start of this week. Since the first moment I made this challenge as a promise to my friend to show him that duelists are too hard. We lost 0-13.
Last player standing.
Worse than how my first game on Phoenix went. This is not how it was supposed to go. Then we had throwers. 2 games in a row. Any progress at all we had made this week felt like it was all gone. I was totally done with Valorant at this point. What a complete waste of time this whole week so far felt like. Other than my few games I played insane, I was back to being hopeless, and I was back all the way down to the Bronze 2 rank. I completely embarrassed myself. The one thing I didn't want to do. 0 and 13. Trying Neon out. It was all being live streamed. I wish this challenge would just end because they were right. Everyone was right. I just couldn't play Duelist. The final days. As I sat on the couch and stared at the TV, not watching what was even playing, just staring blankly instead and being stuck in my thoughts, I remembered that it was the push that my friend had given me that motivated me to even try this week. But I discovered something else as well. He never said I had to hit a certain rank. I gave that target to myself. He never said I had to play a certain agent or ones to avoid. I worked that out as I went. And not once did he or anyone watching so far try to make jokes or laugh at what had happened to me. To be honest, when I made the bet telling him that duelists are just too hard and I will prove it, he didn't try to change my mind. In fact, all he did say was, "You should really try duelist." He gave me motivation, but what was his motivation, I wondered? What was in this for him? I started to wonder, maybe my friend pushed me the way that he did to jump into playing duelist agents and stepping outside of my comfort zone for a completely different reason. Something maybe not even game related. A deeper reason it kind of felt like. But I just couldn't work out exactly what it was just yet. After an afternoon of feeling bad about myself and everything to do with this whole week's mission, for the first time that bad feeling cleared. The feeling of embarrassment and worrying about what other people might think slowly went away the more I wondered why my friend pushed me into this challenge. I had a glimpse of hope that maybe, just maybe, I could have a chance at salvaging this. The next day, we jumped back into some games and tried again, queuing competitive after competitive, rounds after rounds. There were awesome moments where I completely surprised myself with the way I came out on top of gunfights, or the way I used my abilities a little bit different than normal.
Damn.
Some rounds, it felt like I was playing the best I ever had. At the same time, there were rounds that were failures and losses to match the good games.
Last player standing.
2 on side.
Spike planted. My ult's ready. Here we go.
One enemy
Down.
remaining.
Running low.
Damn.
It didn't feel like my whole world was ending anymore, but I didn't magically take off and go on a win streak either.
One enemy
They're
remaining.
dead.
Flawless.
Oh, there we go.
Dude, that Yoru thing, I always fall for it, bro. 100%. There's a Yoru flash, I'm shooting it.
Spike down. C.
Uh-oh, it's not good.
Back off. Got one. This way.
Rotate to A.
Watch out.
I have the spike.
One enemy remaining.
That's 3.
We had climbed our way back into Bronze 3, one game win away from ranking up into Silver. Just like when we ran into our first ever cheater in the Jet game just the other day. We were at the same spot. And I was excited to see this challenge through. But no matter what we tried, I just went up and down around this point. My ranking score just sat here. And we had run out of time. Even though I was still far away from my target I had set, I didn't feel bad like I did previously. It was weird because, in theory, this whole week was a total defeat. I was back on the couch, staring again. This time with the TV not even on. I was staring blankly until it clicked. Then I found myself smiling. The secret plan. I think I'd worked out why my friend pushed me in the first place, without even caring about the rank I had to get or any targets at all. All he said was, that I should really try Duelist. I think I'd finally worked out what he was up to. I'd worked out the true reason of what this week was all about. And it was the bad moments of playing Valorant and having to take breaks from it that led me to this. I think the real goal of this whole week was just to push myself. It felt like his plan all along. It wasn't actually about being right or wrong, if I could play Duelist or not, it seemed. But instead just trying it anyway and breaking out of a comfort zone, not caring about what others thought or what I may have thought of myself. It was about putting the challenge above any worries.
One enemy
It was
remaining.
about rising above the idea of being embarrassed. And he had tricked me into doing it. Was it really that simple? I wondered.
Get lost.
But then I asked myself, was this ever meant to be easy? Learning new agents for the first time in a brand new role that I've never played in this game before, and also trying to push new higher competitive ranks for the first time, all at once. Of course this was never going to be easy. This was exactly how it was all meant to go.
You know, finally, good game.
This is what pushing yourself felt like. I owed this to myself to see it through, and I did. It was a strange feeling, remembering the roller coaster moments we had just gone through. The mega highs of being called a smurf, something that will go down in my own history book of gaming, but also the complete disaster, landslide, that followed and sent us crashing back down.
Last player
The next week,
standing.
everything was back to normal. But there was something that made normal feel a bit different
Spike planted.
than it did before.
Give me those.
Now, it felt like I had no more worries
Enemy remaining.
when it comes to Val.
One enemy remaining.
This new normal felt better than before. And I think this is why. I replayed all the moments in my head. I ignored them for years. I just knew it would be too hard, but friends kept on asking me, have you tried Jet yet? She is so good. What about Phoenix? He has the best flash in the game. It repeated again and again, like a daydream. You should really try Duelist, he said. Did I just give myself a week's worth of torture? In reality, I did completely fail the task. I bombed out really terribly. I wasn't even able to break into silver. But just like with everything in life, it's always about the mission. And what replayed more and more in my mind was how there was a level to success when it came to this challenge. Because I did what I set out to do, what I had wanted to prove to myself. Not that the Duelist agents will be too hard or to prove anyone wrong, but instead I proved to that inside voice, the one that makes you doubt yourself, that I could set out on this mission and complete it, no matter what happened. I didn't get the rank that I wanted. And in a way, it was something that I was really worried about at the start, that my failure will be forever painted on the wall. But it turns out, now there was a bigger painting, a better one, that made anything else seem absolutely not important. I went from never playing these agents and sticking to a difficult task for a full week, even though it didn't go the way I had wanted it to. Everyone could see it unfolding in front of them. It was live for the world to see. And because of that, now I will no longer doubt myself when it comes to trying something new. We all really can do whatever it is we set our minds to. The worries that we all have are not actually real. And my friend showed me that. Now, when we party up next, I bet they will not be able to believe it when I lock in a Duelist character. I might even just snipe my brand new favorite agent, Neon, right before they can. And I can't wait to hear their reaction when I do it. For the longest time, I ignored Duelist agents. Now, I don't have to avoid them anymore because my friend was right. I did learn a lot about the game by playing these new characters, and fast too. But most of all, I learned even more about myself.